get a one-way ticket. I haven't picked a destination. I'm just trying to catch a train before it has to leave the station, packing no bag.
Alright, this is going to be a very rough one to try to get through today. That is right, everyone. It is the album that everyone has been waiting for, and it's the album that has the whole world side as fucking heartbroken right now. It is Mac Miller's 6th studio album, Circles. So before Mac Miller died of an accidental overdose back in 2018, he actually was in the process of working on a second album, which was supposed to be a follow-up to the masterpiece known as Swimming. And pretty much the concept of it all was supposed to be swimming in circles. Now, it sucks that Mac Miller didn't unfortunately get to see this project be completed in person. I still find it very amazing that the main producer of this album took it upon himself to work nonstop on this project and just do everything he could to make sure that the end project of this album turned out pretty much turned out the way Mac Miller would have wanted it to turn out, and just the way Mac Miller would have wanted his fans to listen to it pretty much. I was kind of iffy about this album because most artists, when a certain artist has passed away, and it is now up to the family or the record label to put out their unreleased projects before they died, it mostly ends up half-assed, and not because the artists themselves are bad, but because the record label or whoever is in charge of their unreleased projects just don't give a fuck and just care about the money and end up not giving the best end product. A few examples of these could be the Bad Vibes Forever album by XXXTentacion and the Everybody's Everything album by Lil Peep, which a lot of people unfortunately didn't like. But you know what? After hearing this album, I gotta say, this fucking album turned out a lot more better than I think anyone was expecting. This album had me feeling a certain type of way that not that many artists can make me feel these days. You know what I mean? To be fair, I'm a fairly new Mac Miller fan. I think I got into him a year before Swimming came out, and I was like, you know what, this dude is actually pretty dope, because I was I don't know, I didn't know what the hype was for Mac Miller, and then I gave his stuff a chance, and I was like, you know what, he's actually a pretty dope artist. And then Swimming came out, and I was like, fuck yeah, and then he died, and I was like, damn. And to be honest, I actually thought that Swimming was gonna be the last ever project from him that we'll ever get to hear. And then, out of nowhere, Circles got announced, and I was like, I wasn't expecting it. But I'm glad it came out. In this album, Mac Miller was in the process of mentally and spiritually getting himself in a much more better state of mind, and just trying to become a better person in general, because everyone has a lot of things about themselves that they don't like, and that you always want to try and fix on before you can go and conquer the world again, and just try to be in society again. And he pretty much not only tries to be a better person for himself, but for his fans, and pretty much tries to persuade any of his fans, or just anyone listening in general, the importance of pretty much trying to be a better person for yourself, and and not letting whatever it is holding you down, and making you feel bad in life, stop you from living and stop you from being a good person. I think a lot of people were already really sad and heartbroken, after the music video for Good News came out, because that video itself was just such a sad fucking tribute, just pretty much looking back at the legacy that Mac Miller has left behind, and I guess legacy is a really big word to use, because the man did pass away in his 20s, but he had a pretty really good career, and a pretty just a really good life in general, as an artist. And just seeing that tribute in that music video, I was really heartbroken about it. And I imagine that a lot of I guess longtime Mac Miller fans are feeling the same kind of sadness like while listening to this album. I, however, do not feel that sad during this album. Don't get me wrong, like there are a lot of like really really sad songs on here, like for example songs like Complicated and Blue Worlders, I think it's called, like I think it's called something like that. Like those songs are like so fucking sad. Like I was just there like, god damn, this is like the fucking saddest shit ever that like I didn't think I was gonna ever like fucking hear. Like it is so fucking sad. And just like hearing like Mac Miller's like voice, and just hearing him again can like make anyone like want to shed a tear, and just like want to like start crying. There definitely is a lot of sad shit on this album. But at the same time, I don't really feel that sad during this album, to be honest. I actually feel like super fucking happy for some reason. Well, not for some reason. I have an actual reason why I feel like really super happy about this album. Because Mac Miller was somebody who was like obviously going through a lot of shit. He has gone through a lot of shit back in the past that he has talked about a lot, and he's like gone through a lot of like shit like in his current life. There might have been like some like past some like personal problems that he was going through, like even now, that made him like not feel like as like that good of a person. And to just hear Mac Miller spit nothing but positive vibes and just like sing a bunch of beautiful words, it's just it makes me feel good, and like really inspiring that no matter what he was going through in his personal life, no matter if he wasn't feeling like as good both mentally and physically, he never like hesitated to do what he loves, and that was making music, and sending a positive message to all his fans to like help them out with whatever sadness and darkness they're going through. You feel me? Like it's really inspiring to see him like do that. As someone who personally like struggles with a lot of overwhelming sadness, like in my personal life, I go through so much of that shit that I don't like to talk about a lot, because I don't know how to like express those fucking feelings sometimes. And just like I can like definitely relate to Mac Miller as like you know on a lot of levels, especially when he says how like how it is a struggle, like faking a smile and just forcing a smile like out in public and out to the people you love, when like deep inside you're like fucking falling apart and just like want to like self-destruct. You feel me? Like it's like he was like a really really like relatable human being. And it's like not fair that he like didn't feel like good at sometimes, because he is such a like genuine, like he was such a genuine amazing person. His funny personality can be shown a lot on this album. Just his like genuine like good personality can be shown a lot on this album. And he pretty much expresses the importance of just trying to have fun, and just trying to have a good time during your very dark days, because at the end of the day, if you let yourself get lost in the darkness, it's only going to make shit worse. And he even like talks about like a lot of like past problems, like his past filled like relationship with women, and and just not trying to let the past define who he is now, because the thing about the past is that it's always gonna hurt. Like the past is always gonna hurt you, no matter where you are. You're always gonna think about your past, and it's always gonna hurt just a little bit. But you can either learn from the past or run away from it. And the best part is always to learn from it. So yeah, that's why I feel very happy about this album, and that's why I really really did not expect this album to be as good as it is. But it's honestly a really really good album. And I think like it can help anybody out, and it can pretty much just pretty much I'm getting a bit emotional, sorry, but just pretty much like help anyone with what they're going through. And yeah, if anything, if I do feel sad about this album and while making this video, is because I just feel sad that we truly did lose a very like genuine good like talented person. And I don't know if there's going to be another album after Circles. I assume not, but if there is a new album after this, then I can't wait for it. But uh, until then, we're left with Circles, and I definitely recommend this one to the longtime Mac Miller fans and to anyone who just wants to hear like the kind of like what kind of influence he had on a lot of people. So yeah, recommend this album to those who haven't listened to it yet, and to those who really like are struggling with themselves. And with that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, click that bell down below, all that good stuff, so you don't miss a single one of my uploads whatsoever. And don't forget to stay happy. Rest easy, Mac.
I'm thinking maybe I should thank you. Oh, baby, I should buy you another.